Welcome to another episode of Sis, How to Grow Your Hair. And today we are doing the lovely Ghanaian YouTube influencer, model, business owner, Eugenia Kelcy. Eugenia Kelcy started her natural hair journey in October 2014. And because she's a Ghanaian-born American, she had experiences where they were not allowed to grow their hair out, so they often wore it in a shaved style now, or shaved cut, I should say. Initially, when she went natural in 2014, she managed to reach about 5 inches of growth per year. And then after 2 years, she just noticed a little bit of stagnation, or a plateau, if you will. And we know all about plateaus here on this channel. Basically, this led her into evaluating what she could do, what Ayurvedic herbs she could try to get her hair past this plateau. So one thing she did was use fenugreek water to spray daily on her natural hair. And all she did was soak seeds in cold water for 24 to 36 hours, strained, and then use the water in a spray bottle. For her protective styles, she tends to keep her styles in for a minimum of 4 to 6 weeks. And her go-to style was cornrows, or cane rows if you're in the Caribbean. She would wear wigs on top of her cornrows. And this is what she did for every 4 to 6 weeks. The other protective style she used was crochet braids, but she avoided vixen crochet braids. So the vixen crochet braids uses a specific braiding pattern because you're leaving out some hair, which would require you to use some heat if the texture of hair you're using is straight. And when it came down to washing her hair and taking it down after that period of time, she often would use a cheap conditioner, Suave, in order to detangle her hair. Obviously, Suave had really good slip, so of course this was a go-to for her. And then she also had 2 detangling methods that she would alternate between in terms of stretching her hair. So one, she would use the tension method with a blow dryer, and the second method was threading, and that obviously was heat-free. She would oil and massage her scalp with olive oil, avocado oil, and coconut oil. I don't like coconut oil. Even though she kept the protective styles in between 4 to 6 weeks, she actually washed the cornrows every 2 to 4 weeks in terms of maintenance. So I think it's safe to wash your hair in cornrows. I mean, Eugenia did it, so it obviously worked for her. I just wouldn't recommend washing your protective styles if they're in mini anything, mini twists, mini braids, mini anything. She was also using natural, handmade, or homemade products from Etsy. Her biggest philosophy starting out natural was leave your hair alone, essentially. Now, if we fast forward to Eugenia's most recent video on how to grow long natural hair, her regimen has actually gone through some changes, but not just changes. She's also, since she's gone natural, have created her own hair care line called kCurlsys. And I think the branding of this company is absolutely stellar. She has all of the staple products that you need to take care of your hair. Of course, using ingredients that have been faithful to her all these years, like moringa powder, fenugreek, and so on. Now, in terms of her most recent or most updated hair regimen to grow long natural hair, she keeps her protective styles in for 3 months. Still the same protective style though, cornrows. Eugenia Kelcy does cornrows so faithfully. My scalp, I don't know what happened. Anyway, for takedown, she would apply deep conditioner, her moringa and fenugreek conditioner to the new growth as well as the rest of the hair to make it slippery and get rid of some of that product buildup. She's very methodical this time around as opposed to her initial regimen, and we're going to get to those differences very soon. On her wash days, she adopted a method from her skincare routine known as double cleansing. So she would wash her hair the first time to get rid of, dirt, oil. But the second one was more of a polisher. She also washes her hair in twists to avoid friction and obviously retangling. She uses her fingertips, not her whole hands. And then she deep conditions for 30 to 60 minutes or whatever the instruction says on the packaging. She dries her hair with a microfiber towel. I can definitely vouch that having one of these, even as a low porosity girl, lifesaver, absolutely. And because microfiber towels only absorb so much of the water or moisture in your hair, so even after you've had it on for a while and you take it off, there's still so much water still in your hair that you can just apply your leave-ins and stuff and they don't get diluted because of so much water on your hair. So I love microfiber towels, and so does Eugenia. She layers her product as leave-in, aloe-infused oil, water, and a final oil for seal. So that's like the 𝓚𝓚𝓬𝓪𝓽𝓭. She didn't make that up, that's all me. And with her protective styles, like in her first regimen, she had regular scalp cleansing. She also uses a nourishing serum that has hibiscus and glycerin on her scalp and the rest of her hair. Here are some of the key differences between her first regimen and her most recent one. In the first one, she tended to fixate more on products and very simple methods. But in the second one, you notice there's a more detailed technique for each step. In the first regimen, she only cleansed her hair the first wash, whereas in the most recent, double cleansing. When it came to moisturizing her hair in the first regimen, she basically used fenugreek water, and that was about it. But in the second regimen, she did the LOO, leave-in, aloe-infused oil, water, and oil for her final seal. In her first regimen, her takedown process was not specified, but in the second one, she has a more methodical approach. There's no mentioning of tools in the first regimen, although I guess a Y2 comb could be one. But in the second one, she talks about scissors, having some hair shears rather than pulling the hair or snipping it off. As you guys know, I tend to do that when I'm being impatient with my hair, but having shears handy has definitely helped me to stop breaking my hair. So having shears handy, as well the microfiber towel to get rid of excess water so that her products can actually penetrate her hair strands. And it could be a reason why some of us have dry hair even after we put on all our leave-ins and stuff, is because there's so much water swelling the hair that there's no room for those products to do anything, and they just evaporate out the follicles or the hair strand. In terms of product knowledge, she had a very basic understanding in her first regimen, but now being an owner of a hair care line, a successful one at that, she has a more sophisticated understanding of the product purposes, such as the difference between hydrating and moisturizing. So what does a Eugenia Kelcy hair regimen look like if you're interested? Install a protective style for 2 to 3 months and then do a gentle takedown. For the takedown process, you will use a generous amount of deep conditioner and apply it to your roots and your new growth to gently unravel your hair. And instead of pulling those stringy ends or ripping through your hair, you will cut them instead with professional shears. You'll use the double cleanse method to remove oils and buildup first and deep clean on the second, washing and twist to minimize tangling and using your fingertips for gentle pressure. Also make room for deep conditioning for 30 to 60 minutes with a conditioner of your choice. In terms of drying and moisturizing, you will use the LOO method after you've dried your hair with a microfiber towel. For protective styling, install your preferred protective style, whether that's cornrows, twists, and so on. And you will do a weekly to bi-weekly maintenance, such as cleaning your protective style and applying a nourishing serum to your scalp and exposed hair, keeping the style in for 4 to 6 weeks minimum, not maximum, because remember, 3 months is kind of her happy place. And there you have it. Let me know if you will be adopting the Eugenia Kelcy method. But thank you guys so much for tuning in on episode 3 of Sis, How to Grow Your Hair. And as always, I want to hear who you think is next. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, commenting, and I'll see you guys next time on God's Standard of Beauty. Take care. Bye.